I am Anshul, today one of the speakers, and I am a senior product consultant with the location intelligence team, specifically working for the EMEA region from Sears. I also have today with Pranav and Vincent. I'll let Pranav introduce, and then would request Vincent to quickly share more details about himself.
Thank you, Anshul. So, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining in. My name is Pranav. I'm part of the location intelligence team. Work very closely with Anshul and Vincent to take Google Maps platform across EMEA region, talk about various location intelligence services for the business outcomes, right? So, very happy to be here. Very thankful for you guys joining in today. With that, I'll hand over to Vincent. Vincent, if you could quickly introduce yourself as well.
Yes, very happy to be part of the event. So I'm Vincent Casamajou, based normally in Paris, working for the Google office out there, but exceptionally in Dubai. And we go more and more to Dubai because in the Middle East in general, business there is really growing super fast. And we're going to cover some use cases I hope will be interesting for you. So just to let you know, the Google Dubai office is a very friendly place. So next time, I will be pleased maybe to invite you to attend to that kind of event physically in our office, but very pleased to run this also remotely today. So my role is partner sales manager. So I'm in charge of the relationship between the customers and our partner community. We have a community of partners that we trust very much. And Sears is a worldwide partner working with us on numerous projects, very well known for their technical expertise and also capacity to support you and guide you in a lot of different projects and use cases. Our role is really to help you to innovate, and that's our daily role and mission, and we are really pleased to do that. So happy, and I hope during the presentation that it will give you some ideas on how to leverage location as a growth lever for your business. So I'm in charge of quite a large region because I cover Southern Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. So traveling from time to time in nice regions and nice cities. So I'm quite lucky, I should say. But here again, very happy to be in Dubai. Really happy to support the local teams. And I hope that the start of an ongoing conversation with you. Maybe one element that comes regularly with our customer and prospects, they ask why they should work with a partner. So they are really pleased to work with Google. So thank you for this. But also, what we suggest is to work with a partner, and we suggest to work with a partner for different reasons. First reason is we are a very small team. So to run the maps business that for companies, so we sell the technology, the maps technologies to companies, we are a very small team. So it's a team of 50 people around the world. So to scale and to provide you the service you want and expect, we work with very capable and trusted partners to provide assistance, guidance, support. And that might be a bit counterintuitive, but with no extra cost. So that's the great news. So you can work with Google and a partner for an extra support and service provided, and with no extra cost. I will even say it's even better financially speaking, because through Sears, you can have access to privilege pricing, and it's based on the volume of usage. So Sears is a partner capable of providing you an optimized way to leverage maps. So that's why I wanted to give you those elements from the start of the presentation, because that does explain why we work so closely with Sears. And it's not only because we help you in innovating from a technical point of view, but also because from an administrative and financial point of view, it's also very interesting for you. So without maybe further ado, we can jump into the content of this event. And I will maybe make a kind of a large and big picture introduction on maps and also on what is the main reason why we are all here in that meeting, to try to see how we can innovate. So maybe, Anshul, we can go to and kickstart the presentation. So I will have a short introduction of, let's say, 5 minutes, but happy to go through some slides and answer any question you might have.
Thank you, Vincent. Well, I'll quickly run through today's agenda. As like Vincent said, he will be introducing on what Google Maps platform is and some basics on that. Post that, we'll have a separate section for location intelligence and mobility. We'll also be previewing some Google's newly launched product like ODRD and LMFS. Fourth, obviously, thank you, Vincent, for already having said on the points on what are the benefits a customer can get when they actually collaborate with us alongside you. That will be covered in depth into the Search section, and followed by the question and answer session for 15 minutes. I'll request everyone, in the meantime, while we are presenting, if you have any questions, maybe it is business, tech, or whatever questions you have, please feel free to add that into the chat. We will try to cover maximum questions, in our separate session of Q&A. Moving on to next, over to you, Vincent.
Okay, so let's start with this screenshot, because I think it's a quite illustrative screenshot of why we are all here at the moment, listening on how technology can impact our life. So that screenshot has been taken 17 years ago, in 2005, and that's in fact the first screenshot you could have done if you have started for the first day using Google Maps. So that was the Google Maps experience 17 years ago. And as you can see, it was quite limited. You can observe we are a US-centric company, because in fact, you had access mainly to North America information and location data. And also in the middle of the Atlantic, as you can see, two islands, Ireland and the UK. So when we started the service, of course, data was super limited. But what has been really, really unbelievable, and I talk for maps, but we can talk generically about internet and about all the technologies we use now on a daily basis. The pace of innovation has been crazy, has been unprecedented. And that's why I think it's important for all of us to consider we are in a very unique moment of human history. Some people say it's the second Renaissance. It's the second time in human history where technology, again, brings major changes in our life. Of course, life as individuals, life as citizens, life as consumers. We will explore more the consumer side, but the changes are really pluridimensional, and that's quite unique. So that does explain why so many people are interested in knowing how they can leverage technology, because it's really a game changer. So if we go to the next slide, just for you to keep a timeline in mind, I mentioned we might be in a second Renaissance. The first Renaissance has been a period that unfolded over 300 years, starting in the 15th century, essentially starting from Italy and spreading after throughout the world over 300 years. And it changed everything. It changed the vision of the world. It changed the way people are living, people are using, people are trading. And all of this was based on a technological breakthrough. That technological breakthrough was the invention of printing press, the usage of paper. So it was a new way to make the information circulate more easily, in a cheaper way, and a fastest way. So it took 300 years to run that evolution, that revolution. Now we are in a second Renaissance, but the pace of innovation is literally much shorter and impactful in our life, because I mentioned 17 years ago, we launched the service, Google Maps. And now, imagine your life without a location experience. It's not possible. You need it on your daily life to go somewhere, to deliver, to get something delivered, to buy, to consume, to discover, to enjoy. So this is exactly what Maps delivers to billions of people, but the rate of innovation is really drastic and crazy. And that's that rate of innovation that we want to leverage for your benefit. And that's what we do on a daily basis with Searce, helping companies to leverage that wave instead of, having to be damaged by this. So that's exactly what we would like to think about with you. If we go to the next slide, data, in fact, in the immense reservoir of data we use and produce every day, the location element is key. Because even if we talk about digital worlds, we still evolve, and that's a good thing in a physical world. Physical world means location. So we need to cross the digital experience with the physical experience every time, anytime, everywhere. And that's exactly where Maps is a way for you to really make cohabit and blend the digital and physical experiences, because that's how we live now. So that flexibility, that agility, that nimbleness is provided by the location intelligence Maps provide, because location is essential to our life. If we go to the next slide, that's exactly our mission. So we help, in fact, businesses and developers to leverage that location component of the data they produce, they record, and use. And we want that out of that location data, you get things done in the real world. So our objective is not only to provide a nice experience, but to get things done for your business. So that's exactly what we achieve on a daily basis with Searce in delivering innovative projects around Maps. And there are a couple of stats, but we all know, and you certainly already know that because you use on a daily life Maps. So imagine your typical day. Your typical day, you will certainly start your day or commuting to work, meeting friends, meeting parents, relatives, buying things. There is always an experience with location. And it's getting more and more pregnant, especially, after the pandemic, where we literally had to live in our home, not and making sure goods and services were delivered to our door instead of going to shops. So it has been and of course, it has been a painful period throughout the world, but it has really highlighted the importance of the location flexibility that we need in our life. And it has been a game changer, because I don't think we will come back, to the previous consumer habits. It has evolved profoundly in our society. So if we go, a good way to explore this, and I was thinking about that, coming to the office today in Dubai, when you are in your car, you are surrounded literally with 3 speedy, motorcycle delivering things. So it's something that was not visible as it is now 3 years ago. So moving things, moving people, moving goods and services is part of the current life we have. And it's really obvious when you go on the streets, when you order a car, when you order a taxi, when you order food, when you order any service, it's mobile. And it's mobile because we provide that location intelligence. There is not one only way to consume now. You have different ways. And the limit is really your innovation and capacity to invent new services that will be fueled, I hope so, by our technology. And we will illustrate this with some concrete example. So why Maps is appreciated as a service? I was assuming most of you use Maps, so thank you first of all for this, for your trust in the service. But the trust is something we earn every day, and we earn this every day to provide you the freshest data possible. And we hope we accomplish that performance through millions of updates daily, so 50 million daily updates, to make sure you trust our service. And also we have over 1 billion people actively using the service per month. So it's a lot of trust that we appreciate very much. And that trust is also not only due to the freshness of data, but you rely on us to move for very important moments in your life. So we need to provide you accurate data. And that's what we expect to do with a confidence of over 97% in terms of ETA prediction. We are never perfect, so we work hard to make sure we always improve it. But when you need anytime, anywhere to trust location data, Maps is here to help you. So thank you also for your trust in using the service. As individuals, and we want to provide you the same experience in your business for your customers and different stakeholders. So just maybe to complete my intro, so thank you for taking the time. Maybe my ultimate message, is your role, as stakeholders of companies, as manager, is to find the best way to work for your company and be competitive. I assume, and I am strongly convinced, Maps can be a lever of that strategy. And please, to do so, to work with us, we are technological experts. That's our role, to really handle the complexity of technologies that sometimes can be, of course, important. Your role, I think, is to be creative. Start with a simple question. How I can reinvent the current experience I offer to my customers through creation, through an innovation in terms of location, and think out of the blue, without limit, without thinking about technology, just thinking on how you can reinvent something. And we will be pleased to start from that idea or suggestion and make it concrete. And I have seen that all over my 12 years tenure at Google. So I start to get to be an old Googler. But I've seen literally people starting companies from scratch only by asking them that question. And those people, you know them well. So Uber is an example. People that open the Maps API and said, okay, how can we reinvent the ride-sharing experience? And they started with that question. What can we offer to our customers based on the Maps experience? So thank you for your attention, for that introduction, and happy to hand this over to Searce team, because we will enter into the concrete examples on how Maps can be leveraged for your daily business. So thank you again, and I hand this over to Anshul.
Thank you, Vincent. That was very insightful Google Maps introduction, and everyone must be getting more acquainted on what will be there into the next slides of the presentation. So in this section, we will be deep diving into mobility industry, what exactly mobility industry is, what has happened over the last couple of years, understanding mobility industry from business use cases, challenges, and how Google Maps can actually help you get better with all the location component. So what exactly is mobility industry? We all know that Mobility is an industry of transporting people, goods, services from a location one to next location. Generally, that has been the definition of mobility. But in the recent time, the scope and the complexity of mobility industry has increased. This is because various factors, like there are advances in multimodal transportation. Customers' expectations have changed. More shift towards the convenience is the new buzzword. Um, Advancement in technologies like IoT, connected devices, autonomous vehicles, coupled together with Industry 4.0, hyperlocal deliveries, that has given an altogether different aspects to the mobility industry, and it is not just transporting goods from A to B, and for that we see that there has been a rise in terms of subsectors into these industries. So on my left, you can see, long haul distribution and shipping companies. These are the traditional companies who work intercontinent, intercountries, intercities. Packaging and logistic has been around since very long time. But now you can see there is an addition of various subcategories like supply chain asset tracking, IoT, GPS tracking companies, third-party logistic, fourth-party logistic, and end-to-end like logistic players are into the foray. Like we know last mile logistic, then there is a first mile logistic. So a lot of complexity and the scope has given a rise to all very new business models. I can say uh, on my right side, you can see, there is a boom onto this industry of delivery, ride hailing services. I especially love the micro mobility, how actually it has evolved in last 2 3 years, especially after pandemic, and how the current challenges of the world like climate change, sustainability are somewhere or the other by fulfilled by that micro mobility sector. And obviously there is a transportation services in across every country that they are managing. So what exactly the digital leaders, business leaders, and the customer we actually speak on daily basis are doing? They are actually combining the power of Google Maps, spatial data, uh, which comes in different categories. They are trying to they are trying to collaborate that with the company's internal data to grow their sales, improve their business operations and everything. So when a company is actually investing a lot of time, uh, uh, Christius, I think that is relevant. I'll get back to that point. And on the delivery side, these companies, when they actually leverage location intelligence, obviously there will be some challenges. Uh, Moving on to next. These are the five major common challenges a mobility company actually faces on day-to-day basis. Obviously, first is meeting the customers' growing expectations. They are companies where customer expectations changes from country to country. So a company operating in Saudi Arabia may have a different customer's expectation than one who is operating in UAE. um, Again, there are increasingly complex delivery supply chains because of the convenience factor coming into picture. A lot of visibility tracking is needed. Again, coupled together with lot of challenges, the entire supply chain has become a bit complex. The third major challenges is to provide services and products on location basis. So this is very important factor when actually companies try to cater experiences and try to give a tailored experience to their consumers based upon their location. We have been seeing this in prevalent in various industries apart from the mobility, but right now we also see this trend coming into the mobility verticals where products and services are uh, uh, segmented according to customers need. A disruption for new players, it is always there for every industry, and mobility is no different. I think one of the major challenge for the mobility industry is to develop in-house capabilities. We know that maintaining in-house skill set or keeping your tech talent is a very challenge these days, and you'll have a lot of challenge to maintain your in-house capabilities. For example, developing a solution, or if you're uh, partnered with a service provider. I think these are the challenges a company on a mobility faces in general. We move to the next section of understanding the various business use cases and challenges. So the very first use case is to get accurate user information. So user information can come into picture at various sources, whether there is a mobile application of a company or a B2B application. Address plays a very key role into your offerings. Say for example, one of our customer, Domino's, they are doing food delivery. They were earlier not using Google Maps product places API, but from when they have started implementing Google Maps Places API, they have seen a substantial increase in the customer satisfaction, because their address errors have been so significantly reduced. So earlier, like they were facing 50, 60, address error in a week's time. Now that has come down to 1 or 2. How exactly Places product works is, it helps your users, your consumers, to find the exact place they are looking by automatically suggesting different point of interest. So on my screen, you can see, there is an UI for the mobile where somebody is typing, and that address is getting retrieved from Google Places API. And in some cases, we have been speaking to customer. If, for example, that data is not available into Google Places, then there is another add-on of Google APIs, like you can use geocoding API and deliver a movable pin, and that by way you can actually get a precise location. What actually impact this have on the customers or your businesses? There is a reduced user effort, and the conversion rate substantially increase. Uh, Obviously, if there are less errors in the address, we can see the operational cost actually goes on down, and this can be implemented using Google product and plus coupled together with CS services. So that is one of the primary use case when it comes to mobility industry. Second is very important, route optimization and order batching. Whether you have a business of delivery, I'm sure you are aware about this challenge. Optimizing route is superbly important, and batching the order actually saves a lot of time, save a lot of fuel, and increases the overall productivity. So when a company like GeoPoint has developed their in-house application, and they started putting Google Maps API to usage, you can see on the screen they are able to create uh, uh, optimized route, and with the help of the routing algorithm, coupled together that with order batching, they are able to reduce significant amount of cost. There are some companies like Rebel Foods, Telprek Ramen, and all Swiggy food delivery companies. Large amount of companies into this space started using Google Maps APIs in conjunction with their in-house products or services if they have deployed. So, for example, a company is already using a dispatch management tool, or say a transportation management sort of an enterprise application. They can be added with Google Maps API, and with the help of Google Maps APIs, for example, they can derive real-time traffic, and accordingly that route can be optimized for per delivery. This We have been helping to our customers. Even we have developed some solution for helping you on route optimization, which are built on top of Google Maps platform. Moving on to next, fleet management, tracking and optimization. Uh, Tracking is equally important because various organizations have very large amount of fleet, whether it is a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler, taxi service, or a company, a very huge company which are operating in, like 50, 100 countries, and they have thousands of fleet. at that part of the time, fleet management becomes a very crucial thing, along with optimizing whatever fleet they are actually having into their arsenal. uh, for example, just want to share an example of Fleetminder. Fleetminder has developed a web-based application using geocoding street view APIs, and they are able to visualize their fleet on real-time basis. They are able to track it with the help of GPS, and even there is an API called geolocation API. If at all you don't want to add any physical GPS, you can use Google's geolocation API, which works on Wi-Fi nodes and telecom towers, and that particular tracking use case can be realized. What are the impacts of the fleet management tracking and optimization is obviously uh, your bottom line profits, your overall customer satisfaction goes on increasing. If I have been speaking to one of the government entity on Middle East, there is a lot of requirement for compliance and regulatory when the fleets are into usage. So ELD and compliance improvement actually helps, because you are able to track the assets. Even there is some small use cases like geofencing and all, which we have developed, and if you want to just track your driver's performance and he is not going out of the that preferred route, that can also be tracked. Moving on to next, real-time order tracking, again an important use case for most of the subsectors into mobility industry is to track their order. This is very important for the end users. I'm sure we are using lot of food delivery apps and all. We are eager to know what is the arrival time of the food, arrival time of the medicines. I think at this moment, when Google Maps API are in use along with your application, it's create a superb experience, and that has been conveyed on a BCG Google study collateral, which have been like published in 2021, where they have seen if tracking real-time tracking updates are delivered to the consumers, 6 to 11% customer satisfaction happens, and that is across the industry. So these were the general four use cases that we actually added to understand more on the business use cases and challenges. I'm sure that our customers or attendees work in different segments. Maybe, for example, you're working in micro mobility with EV. That particular use case may be different. If at all you need any more support on your industry specific use case, please feel free to reach out to us. We can address that in the chat or on separate one-on-one session. So moving on to the next section on Google's newly launched solutions for mobility business. Uh, just now we have conveyed what all use cases can be possible by using Google Maps API and CS services. There was a need for a new catered solution offering, and that's how Google introduced new solution for specifically catering to the mobility business. Because that 15 years back, Google Maps APIs were first introduced, and up from that time till date, the year has changed. The life life has actually changed, and post pandemic, I think there is a lot of exponential rise in rides and delivery businesses, because convenience and everyone wants their food and medicines to be delivered at home. So that gave a rise to a new complete industry, and that's how Google thought to develop a new solution specifically to cater that particular segment. So moving on to next, this is a new solution called On-Demand Rides and Deliveries. This solution, just a disclaimer, this solution is not generally available. It is available to select customers who are operating into rides and delivery space. Uh, at the moment, we will try to give some basics about the solutions. Just I want to explain this with the help of an user consumer scenario. Say, for example, an employee is working on a very big IT park, and he wants to book a cab. So the very first thing from that he needs to go to his home from that particular office location. The first location he himself will ask to himself will where should he go, At that part of the time, the trip and order planning solution comes into picture, where it is uh, empowered with the Google Maps APIs. Plus, there are some newly launched APIs which are specially created for on-demand rides and delivery solution. So at the first section, you can see he will try to get his home address, and if the home address is not there, obviously there are some solutions into this, where from geocoding he can actually get the precise location. Moving on to next, we know that large IT park, large retail companies, or large malls, there are multiple entrances and multiple gate. By this solution, that the challenge of contacting to the driver, where should I meet, where should I not meet, that actually gets addressed. Moving on to the third section, who to dispatch. So this is purely for the company. So company operating in the ride space, they have lot of options in terms of drivers and all, and their algorithm, they were earlier using Google Maps APIs, but now with this solution, all the technical nitty-gritties and all the headache of putting that engineering effort is a bit less by this solution, and this solution actually helps you to dispatch the drivers. Very powerful point when the cab driver actually reaches the location is driver in-app navigation. So what is driver in-app navigation? So in 2018, Google launched this offering of driver in-app navigation, that if a car driver, taxi driver is using his particular application, in the same app, he will able to see the drop points, or if he's a delivery person, he will able to see in the mobile app itself. He need not to go to the consumer application of Google Maps. So that has been the same solution has been considered into on-demand rides and deliveries. And finally, trip and order progress. Where is the driver? That's the end consumer's question. He will be able to see where the driver is, real-time updates, and then accordingly, he can share the journey with his family, friends, and that's how this solution works. So basically, on-demand rides and delivery impacts on the three main components of your business. One is the consumer, which is of utmost important. Second is your driver, maybe your own driver or your third-party drivers. Giving an experience to them is equally important as to giving an experience to consumer. And third is the fleet optimization. Fleet optimization, earlier also we discussed on fleet optimization, but this is a very specific solution for rides and delivery, where the challenges of this particular industry are actually addressed. So this was all about on-demand rides and delivery. Moving on to next, this product is last mile. This solution is last mile fleet solution. This is a very early product preview. At the moment, this product is not launched. This is not generally available. I think this will be available to the end users maybe in Q3 or Q4. And we just wanted to showcase our audience that apart from on-demand rides and delivery, if you are having a fleet, this will be acting as a end-to-end solution for managing your fleet, optimizing your fleet, and delivering again a superb experience to your end users. And there are some components into this product which you can see on my screen. Also, in this particular solution of LMFS, there is a there will be a product called CFR, Cloud Fleet Routing. This is a specific API for the industries who are again, managing fleet. At the moment, you can see, some of the key factors I have just added. Again, this will be generally available to public in Q3 or Q4. But if you have any specific question, or if you are interested to know more on this, we can surely set up one-on-one call with you, so that whenever it comes go live, we are the one to at least we will be some steps ahead as compared to others counterpart. There are some stats. Again, this will help your fleet management, and the particular API can be embedded into your solutions and offering. So this was all about business use cases and Google's newly launched product. Now we will just cover on what role Searce play and what is like Sears. You have everyone has joined, and uh, so just a quick liner about Sears. Sears is a technology consulting company which believes in futurifying their clients. We usually say our partners, to help them futurify their business by leveraging cloud, AI analytics, and location intelligence. So we solve for better is our actually tagline, and we have been doing that from past many years. So just a quick intro and some more information and facts about the company. So our company is 17 years old. We are now present in 17 locations. We are a Cupertino, California headquartered company. Right now, we have 1,400 plus employees, and out of which 600 are engineers. We call them as our tech problem solvers, and we are from the business side, the business problem solvers, right? We have been working with more than 3,000 customers. I think 20-30% or more than that are from the mobility logistic side. So we do have an good amount of industry experience to solve any of the business needs which you may have. In terms of specialization, we are a location-based services partner, one of the very few partners globally who have this specialization badge. And you see there are data analytics and infrastructure and others. These are the major services of our company: cloud modernization, data analytics, applied AI. If you want to know more on any of those services, feel free to reach out to us. I'm part of the location intelligence and the software engineering team. And primarily, we help companies leverage location intelligence even by deploying direct Google APIs, or if they needs, any of the software engineering capabilities, we do help them as well. So just some niche information on the on our customers and total customers. So you can see we have a very huge experience of working on Google Cloud Platform. We are serving more than 600 customers. In terms of Google Maps, we have already catered to 300 plus Google Maps customers globally. And you can see our some of the client logos comes from different industries, like their Blackbuck is from logistic, GoIBibo is from travel, and like a lot of companies. Step is from US. This is the fintech company. So across industry spectrum, we work and we serve to our customers. As from the location intelligence and the software team, how we add actually value to you. Uh, Adding on to the points what Vincent had conveyed, we will help you on account-based technical research. So just deep diving on this particular point, I'm sure you are already using some of the other components from technology, right? If you're a startup or if you're an enterprise company, if you need consulting on tech aspect, on business aspects, we will be the one who can help you. And our the business team, and in the back end we have our tech team, who is again location intelligence certified, can help you to assess your business use case, startup models where you want to implement location intelligence. Uh, we do have closely association with Google. So if you work with us, your case studies, collateral, white paper, get published along with Google on Google side. That in terms giving you more sort of a brand visibility. And one of the very important point which Vincent conveyed earlier, that getting on board with Sears for Google services comes at no extra cost. In fact, there is a win-win situation for you, where the more the consumption happens, on the Google, you are entitled to get volume discounts. So, and again, custom tech solutions. If you are already using any solution, or if you're thinking to build a solution from scratch by using Google APIs, on software engineering capabilities, we can surely help you on that part as well. I think, yeah. So that was it. This was all about our presentation, where we covered basic aspects of Google Maps, use cases, new age solutions which Google has launched and will be launching, and and more information about what Sears is, how can we actually assist you in your uh, digital transformation journey, embedding location intelligence or software engineering efforts.